Hello, welcome to another episode of Generally Speaking. This was recorded Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. I've noticed a lot of my viewers don't get through my whole production, so I'm going to do a short one this time, sort of make my video match the viewing time. I'm going to talk not about politics, but about a podcast I was watching featuring a fellow by the name of Bart Ehrman. He was a Christian person who became an atheist after studying Christianity so much and finding things that he doubted, that he became an atheist. Well, he was talking about myths and saying that atheists have myths. And he was saying, first of all, define what a myth is and how most people say myth is something that's not true, but that's not exactly right because thinking someone committed a crime when they didn't is not a myth, right? So myths what? They have to deal with the gods. Everybody knows that. They have to deal with the gods. And the most popular, well-known myths are all those Greek gods, the Norse gods, god of thunder, Zeus, and such as that. Those are myths. Now, Bart wanted to add an element of myths are also something that give you an understanding of where you are in the world, where you came from, where you're going to, why you're here. And for Christians, that certainly is understandable, considering their Bible, explains how we got created, why we got created, that there is a why, and what our purpose should be, and what our end point will be. And Bart was trying to say atheists have myths too, and he was pointing to particularly the Big Bang. And how is it a myth in the sense of not explained? Scientists have all kinds of bases for the Big Bang. He says, though, if you go back far enough to the very beginning, there is no explanation, which is true because, according to science, the world exploded from a singular point, and at that singular point, everything was compressed, including space and time. And when space and time are squeezed down to the point of non-existence, any rules or ideas we have of explaining anything don't make any sense anymore because everything we explain is based on there being a space and time. And when there isn't one, obviously there's no explanation. So yeah, there's a mythy kind of element to that. But I think that's very different from God myths that have absolutely nothing to hold them up. And I know the Christians will say they got plenty to support their God. And of course, they wouldn't think that that's a myth, and they don't. But things like Thor and Zeus, everybody readily agrees that those are myths. I don't know, maybe there are some Greeks and Romans who don't think so. But yes, okay, so those are myths. But then the point about giving you a purpose in life, explaining where you came from. The Big Bang isn't created with that in mind at all. Scientists are just saying we're observing the universe, we're noticing it's expanding, which means that it at one time was contracted down to a certain point, and it's just an explanation of how things mechanically happen. There's no, here's the purpose of your life. And if anything you can pull out of that, there is no purpose in your life. If there is one at all, it's only what you give it yourself. And so there were my comments on Bart Ehrman's thinking that atheists have myths and referring to the Big Bang and what I thought about it. So hope you like that. Hope you give me a like, subscribe, and notify. And I'm going to try shorter videos in the future. Have a nice day.